For those of you that love learning about animals, from Sci News, fossil of long and narrow-snouted ichthyosaur uncovered in England. University of Manchester paleontologist Dean Lomax and his colleagues have identified a new genus and species of leptonectid ichthyosaur from a fossilized specimen found in Dorset, England. And now, from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. Welcome to Creature Guide Live Prehistoric News. Now, let's dive right back into the prehistoric news of the day. So, life reconstruction of Xiphiodracon golden campensis, or Exiphodracon. Interesting. It's definitely a very long snouted ichthyosaur. Many species of ichthyosaurs tend to be a bit slightly shorter snouted compared to this one. The nearly complete skeleton of a dolphin sized ichthyosaur was found near Golden Cap in 2001 by Dorset fossil collector Chris Moore. The specimen includes a skull with enormous eye socket and a long sword like snout and represents a new genus and species. There have been a wide variety of different species of ichthyosaurs during the Mesozoic era. They existed from the beginning, towards the beginning of the Triassic period, somewhere around 235 to 240 million years ago, and then would mysteriously go extinct towards the middle Cretaceous, so somewhere around 100 million years ago. Many species of ichthyosaur would have probably fed on a wide variety of different species of cephalopods during their existence. So, different relatives of today's squids, as well as of different species of ammonites. The fossil dates back to the Pliensbechian age of the early Jurassic, between 193 and 184 million years ago. I remember seeing the skeleton for the first time in 2016. Back then, I knew it was unusual, but I did not expect it to play such a pivotal role in helping to fill a gap in our understanding of a complex faunal during the Pliensbechian. This time is pretty crucial for ichthyosaurs. Several families went extinct and new families emerged, yet the new species is something you might call a missing piece of the ichthyosaur puzzle. So let's take a look at the other animals that existed during the time of the ichthyosaurs. So this is much further back in their evolution. This is taking place during the early Triassic period, somewhere around 235 million years ago. So this is likely to be um, Grommelingosaurus, which is a medium-sized ichthyosaur species, at least compared to the larger ones. This animal was probably around 25 feet in length, or a little over 7 meters, and most likely just fed on different species of fish. It does have a very distinct short snout compared to different species of both small and large ichthyosaurs. It's a bit of a mystery as to why this type of ichthyosaur ended up just having a very short snout. And then this is specifically Shastosaurus, which was one of the larger species of ichthyosaur. This species could reach over 70 feet in length and probably reach somewhere around 80 to 90 tons. But however, it was probably just feeding on the ammonites as well as different species of fish and not going after any large prey despite its immense size. And this is simply another member of the Shastosauridae lineage. Shastosaurus existed, well, the Shastosauridae lineage in general, it's possible they were around during the early Jurassic, it's around 195 million years ago, but first evolved over 235 million years ago during the Triassic period. And this is possibly a much smaller species of the Shastosauridae lineage. Not all of them were reaching over 7 feet, 70 feet in length. There were many that ranged somewhere between 20 to 30 feet. So, somewhere between 6 to 9 meters. So, it is more closely related to species in the later early Jurassic, and its discovery helps pinpoint when the turnover. Oh, I already said that. It is the first described genus of an early Jurassic ichthyosaur described from the region in over 100 years. Really? I would have thought, considering England is very well known for ichthyosaurs, I'm very shocked that this is the first ichthyosaur in that long of a period. Maybe it's other distinct areas of England that have had more recent ichthyosaur species. So let's see what we have here. So this is a very well preserved skeleton of the ichthyosaur. That's an extremely long snout as well. Very well preserved teeth, a very well preserved eye socket, possibly had very good night vision. So named Exophodrakengoldcapensis, the new ichthyosaur would have been about 3 meters or 10 feet in length and would have dined on fish and squid, as I said earlier. The remains even show what may be traces of its last meal. It has a very delicate skull, obviously, that we can see. A lot of ichthyosaurs have been found preserved with not just leftovers of food. I would say that's less common, but um, many have been preserved with several offspring inside their rib cage. It's a big mystery as to why there's many traces of that, especially coming from specimens in Germany and England. This skeleton provides critical information for understanding ichthyosaur evolution, but also contributes to our understanding of what life must have been like in the Jurassic seas of Britain. Oh, ichthyosaurs are very common during the Jurassic of England. I mean, the area was a wide range of islands at the time, though there used to be a lot of um, dinosaur portrays of just smaller species, when in reality, there were quite immense species of dinosaurs during the Jurassic, even when England was just a series of islands during the later Jurassic. So we're talking somewhere between 150 to 165 million years ago. So another animal that existed around the same time as this species of ichthyosaur, but this could have been slightly later, is Cryolophosaurus. But Cryolophosaurus existed over in Antarctica somewhere around 185 million years ago and was one of the largest species of theropod to exist at this time in the early Jurassic. It's a big mystery as to what subfamily of Neotheropoda theropod dinosaur this animal is a part of. It used to be considered a member of the Everosta lineage of theropods, but at least by a study in 2020, that has been rejected, and it's still a big mystery. So, Cryolophosaurus could reach over 20 feet in length, or a little over 6 meters, and probably weigh somewhere around 1,700 pounds, or a little over 800 kilograms, possibly even larger. It's interesting when you look at Cryolophosaurus's morphology. This animal has it's somewhere in between like a lightly built structure and somewhere more on the heavily built side. Um, at least when you're comparing it to Dilophosaurs as well as other species of earlier theropod dinosaur, even maybe the ceratosaurs of the later Jurassic. So it's very likely in Antarctica, which at the time was quite tropical and humid. There would have been a wide range of conifer forests and ferns in the area, and Cryolophosaurus was probably feeding on different species of smaller prosauropod dinosaurs, so the ancestors to the larger sauropods later on in the Jurassic. And then you have a species of pliosaur which existed during the early Jurassic, somewhere around 195 million years ago. This is Ichthyosaurus, which is a medium sized pliosaur. This animal could reach somewhere around 15 feet in length or approaching 5 meters and was most likely feeding on smaller species of fish. Probably didn't go after different species of larger ammonites, considering it has a very delicate skull structure. And this is a very well done drawing. You can see they even added the tail fluke. And it is interesting because this is quite a long time before species such as Pliosaurus, Predator X, which technically is a species of Pliosaurus, but Liopleurodon would evolve, and at this time, they just had very delicate skull structures. So this is shortly after the Triassic mass extinction, which many species of sea reptile and the dinosaurs would survive. Now, still, there were different species of sea reptiles that did not make it into the Jurassic, and it's a bit of mystery as to why. And here's simply another reconstruction, possibly of another species of pliosaur related to Ichthyosaurus. The limb bones and teeth are malformed in such a way that points to serious injury or disease while the animal was still alive, and the skull appears to have been bitten by a large predator, likely another much larger species of ichthyosaur, giving us a cause of death for this individual. Oh, well, that's interesting. I'm guessing that this was probably a certain species of pliosaur. So this is taking place, what, 182 million years ago? And that's certainly possible. I doubt it's some species of long-necked plesiosaur. Probably not another ichthyosaur. Life in the Mesozoic oceans was a dangerous prospect. One thing that didn't hit me is that there were certain species of ancient, in quotes, sea crocodiles, but are actually different members of the Metriorhynchid family, but many of them also had quite delicate skull structures, at least when it comes to taking down larger prey animals. And you need to be able to withstand a lot of pressure when combating a larger animal. So even that's a bit questionable. Life in the Mesozoic oceans was a dangerous prospect. The authors identified several features in Exophadracodon Goldipensis that have never been observed in any other ichthyosaur. The most peculiar is a strange and unique bone around the nostril called a lacrimal that has prong like bony structures. Thousands of complete or nearly complete ichthyosaur skeletons are known from strata before and after the Pliensbechian. So, what specifically would have been that? So for all those people that like to say environment is found everywhere, and this literally says there are thousands of them found. Well, yes, you also need to have it where there's a certain type of fossilization that can occur. Even during fossilization, you can have it where, or at least the process, certain fossils might still completely decompose. No, that's not my point. Well, there's literally thousands of them. Well, it's not only that, you're going to have it where you need certain types of sediments where you're going to find different animals at different times. Um, it depends. Like you can have it where one region, it can be like in the past few thousand years, and then next you finally enter the Pleistocene. So it's somewhere between like 2.2 and around 2.2 million years ago and about 12,000 years ago. But the thing is that you need specific types of sediment as well as fossilization processes for an animal to simply be preserved. Most organisms end up just being completely decomposed and not being preserved. So that's why technically there's so few. The two faunas are quite distinct with no species in common, even though the overall ecology is similar. Clearly, a major change in species diversity occurred sometime in the Pliensbechian. Well, it's not just a wide range of species; it's also the split off of many species, many families of ichthyosaurs, and that's also not including the subfamilies of those families of ichthyosaurs. Then you go into the genre and species. Let's see. So, Exophodracodon golden capensis helps to determine when the change occurred, but we still don't know why. Yeah, I feel a bit blank when it comes to that ending because it seems to be that Exophadracon would have kind of signaled some major change in the species of ichthyosaur that already existed, also prior to the beginning of the Jurassic period. So by this point, ichthyosaurs had already been around for somewhere around what 50 to 60 million years. So it's quite interesting. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guide Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know because nothing is better than all animals all the time.